benefits in return from industries like tourism, helicopter, is, in my opinion, is a ethically dead society. So my question here is that this campaign that has been going on for quite a while, there are 20 officials in New York and New Jersey City are actively trying to put a leash on these greedy corporations that have taken the health and livelihood of millions of residents along the waterfront at their hands. And there have been 20 officials joining this campaign. I wonder if anybody from this forum has been joining that endeavor to hopefully put some sort of a leash or hopefully put an end to this nuisance to the public.
Anyone else in the public wish to be heard? Peter.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Evening, Paul, 606 on the cliff. Congratulations on having the ball field ready and looking forward to some fun in season, some sports. I also would like to again ask you to, with the new products on the field, get the best advice from WebMD or some other organization about proper care, washing your hands, washing down after games on the artificial turf. It's a controversy nationwide, and our health can be taken care of as well as a good sports season. Another problem is the ankles and knee injuries caused by that stiffer composite that the artificial turf is. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Kathy Fredo, and I presume Mr. Franz and Mr. Clinton, I'm talking out of turn, were involved. The road on Cliff Avenue started to sink in front of 606 about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And very quickly, Kramer's construction was sent down. The excavation started. The leak in the pipes underneath were found. They had been leaking continuously for 2 to 4 years, but finally it showed its face. Thank you very much. The job is well done, and I think there's future work that has to be done on Undercliff according to the contractor that was on the site. And again, thank you to Ms. Fredo, Mr. Quinn. I guess you were involved. Great. Thank you for the quick action.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else from the public wish to be heard? Close the meeting to the public. Ma'am?
Betty Leon, 1375 River Road, Edgewater, New Jersey. I came down here because for the first time in a long time, and I must admit, I have not kept up. I'm always occurring in Veterans Field. So I'm really ignorant in a lot of aspects. But I think the thing that prompted me, I'm getting tired of going down to Overpack, to use the track. And I think, well, let me come down tonight and see how progress is going on. I'm sure you are certainly trying to make progress. I happen to agree with Mary when she says, the public and myself as well, that we're entitled to know why there's such an increase in cost. And I think the figure that Mary said, because I don't know, I rely on her information, which is pretty accurate, is 93, if I'm not mistaken. Mary, how much is it?
19.
So why the increases constantly and different people coming in and different things being done? And I'd like an answer just to satisfy, if not my curiosity, but as an Edgewater resident. And I'd like to start walking in my own town. And also, I miss seeing those bricks. The bricks that say somebody donated this name is there. I thought that was a great contribution to Edgewater. So I would appreciate some kind of an answer. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public wish to be heard? In the back, Katie.
Katie Jones, 359 Undercliff Avenue. Have you reported the change order to the Department of Community Affairs yet? It's a yes or no question.
Well, I think what happens, the way it's been done here is everybody says what they want. If we can answer it, we answer it. Give you 5 minutes.
Okay, because the follow-up to that is have they approved it? You have plenty of time to answer it. And then, all right, then are we going to be remediating the field, or are we going to be capping the entire field at this point? You know, when this first started, I called Dougie Dorito. He was on the council when they, when the first dumping was done at Shelter Bay, and he said, Katie, when all is said and done, this is going to cost the town $30 million. And I said, I hope not, Doug. But you know what? He was right. And like Betty said, and like Mary said, we all have a right to know. And we shouldn't have to Oprah everything we need to know and have to take money out of our pockets, because we are, you know, members of the community, we are residents, and we should have the right to that information. And we shouldn't have to Oprah everything. That's kind of ridiculous. And I mean, the Little League field looks nice, but since there are, were the lights put back on the Little League field? Because if that's the case, what you should have done was put an adjustable fence and made a moving mound so that you could have had Babe Ruth and Little League on the field and used it simultaneously and gotten more use out of it. Because now, I guess the kids who are a little bit older, who are a little more susceptible to, you know, delinquency when they have nothing to do, because programs at the rec center end at a certain age, and then they have no place to go for baseball. It would have been nice had you made that an adjustable fence. And since the lights are more conducive to older players, it would have worked out a lot better. But input from the public is never taken into consideration, so here we are. You know, 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Anyone else from the public wish to be heard?
I saw the lights on the Little League field this morning, the 3 big lights that lit up there.
Jim, you already had your chance. Meeting's closed to the public. Next order of business.
Can we just address?
Yeah, well, let's do that. If anybody wants to address any of that, council.
Well, as far as the change order is concerned, change order was forwarded down to the Division of Local Government. The Oprah is an action, is a statute passed by this body, by the government, to allow people to get what they want from the government. And that's why when I say Oprah it, that means follow what the law says. The vouchers are all available to you. Yes, sometimes you do have to pay, but sometimes the cost could be up to $75. I don't know what your subpoenaed last or what you Oprah'd last, but if that's the cost, the statute sets out the cost. We don't make it up. The statute says how many pages and how much money for each page. I don't know what else it.
I have a few comments, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, go ahead.
With regard to Mary holding the fences, I think it was, today's Monday, I think it was midweek last week, Councilman Bartolomeo, I saw a message from you reaffirming that the borough code enforcer needs to get on every single development, including the one on Myrtle. Greg, please follow up. It's unacceptable, and they need to be talked to tomorrow. So that should be handled, and it's unacceptable.
And if I can just jump in,
Okay.
they did make some accommodations, and if you say, I didn't go by there within the past few days, but I did see they cleaned up a portion of the sidewalk and moved the fences back. Now, if they fell right back to what they were doing before, you might be right. I'll be on the phone with John again tomorrow.
I would like to suggest that we direct her, Greg, to go there every afternoon on closing time before she leaves her shift and check it every day for the next, whatever weeks you want to say, next 4 weeks till it's done. All right, because it's been brought up before and it's an issue. Second, stairs regarding Jim Savosky. Greg, could you please let us know tomorrow who's responsible for that and who you suggest cleans it and how we can address that, please? Yes. Stigma-free zone. You had talked to me about that at the Air Force concert, and Councilwoman, I don't want to speak for you, Lena, you said she's on the health liaison. So, well, Dave Jordan is. She hasn't now because, so I think she will talk to you. Dennis, with regard to the TV, yes, I mean, I did say we'd look into it. We have looked into it. It's not a priority for us. I don't know where it stands. It has been on our agenda. We continue to look into it. That's the only answer I can give you. There's no interaction. There's no interaction, sir. There's no priority on it now. There is no priority. It's a cost issue. There's no priority on it now. Low-flying helicopter, sir. Greg, correct me if I'm wrong. Did we not pass at the end of last year a resolution in support of Senator Menendez and Senator Sacco prohibiting the flyby, because it's not just they're leaning this way. New York has forbidden them to fly on that side. They are flying on this side. It's absolutely ridiculous. I live in Hudson Harbor. It's all day, every day. We have a resolution in this borough in support of that initiative as of whatever it was, October, November of last year. All right, and we'll follow up on it, but we definitely were on board with it, and we lent our support. It's going to be a bigger issue in this borough council, but we are in support of it, and let's see what we can do to follow up on that. Peter DePaul, artificial turf.
Yeah.
I think that's been hashed enough. I mean, you know, we walked it the other day. I mean, it's one of the softest surfaces. I don't know how you can play on it. It's so soft in terms of broken ankles. But, you know, I can't go there because that's been addressed and it's open, we're ready to go. Betty, with regard to the updates, we have probably every 3 months the borough engineer here to give us an update. There is information on the website. There was an article on the record this week. We could do another update in June, and probably, in fact, I think you were talking about doing the state of the mid-year report in June. We'll do it again if you want to come back next month, excuse me. There's continual updates. We live it every day, and that doesn't mean you do it. And the information, while not exactly the way perhaps people want it over, and that's unfortunate, it's what we have. So, you know, could we do better? We know exactly what the numbers are. The numbers are big, they're bad. I was quoted in the paper this week as saying hopefully everything that has gone wrong will be prevailed. Not that we're asking or wishing, we are fighting for it tooth and nail. So to suggest that we are not compassionate to the kids, as the mayor said in the past, since he's been on, this will end up probably being the cleanest part of Edgewater for sure, and one of the cleanest parks in the whole county, if not state. We are at .02. We spent a lot of money getting there. The DEP requires 1.0, which is a whole lot higher than we made the second round after it was screwed up the first time, agreed to, and we have been week in and week out killing ourselves, not to say that we're killing ourselves, killing the professionals and the construction companies to get this thing done right. We could have done it quicker, we could have taken shortcuts legally through the DEP. We haven't, we stayed the course. My conscience is clear on the second round. It's clear on the first round, except for the fact that we were in power when that company screwed up. But this time around, it's done 110% right, and I'm very proud of it. Thank you.
And Mike, to reiterate, or to take your point further regarding the DEP versus the EPA. The EPA is 1.0, which is 1 part per million. The DEP requires 0.20, 20% of that 1 part per million. And that's what we're working with. We're working with the DEP, which is 0.20 parts per million, not 1.0, even though we have the ability, and by law, we're allowed to go to 1.0 parts per million. We're at 0.20, 20% of that 1 part per million. So that's extremely clean. DEP, State of New Jersey, is much tougher than the EPA, and that's what we're going on.
And if I could add to points here, the project's been a moving target right from the beginning. It's been a moving target through different things that have gone on and been uncovered. So yes, the numbers have changed, and we're looking forward to the end of it.
Just to, I was just going to say, I think Mr. Henry covered most of it, and Councilman Vidal and Councilman Guatemala as well. Since the beginning of the year, since we came on board here, everything has been, from where I'm sitting, this council has done a great job and is moving this project forward. Again, the numbers are what they are, and we're going to get it done, and that's the bottom line. Okay? All right, now we're going to do the adoption, public hearing of the ordinance number 1519-2015. Buddy, you want to go ahead and read that?
motion.
We need a motion for that?
Open it to public hearing.
Yeah, we'll get it. Right. We're going to do that first? Okay. Do I have a motion to open it to a public?
Just a point of order, Mr. Mayor, the 5 minutes per speaker is just based on the ordinance.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so
Can I get a roll call?
I get a second.
Second.
Okay, Councilman Henwood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore? Yes. Councilman Monty?
Yes.
Councilman Vidal?
Yes.
Councilman Guatemala?
Yes.
I'll read the title right here.
Go ahead.
An ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, amending ordinance number 1474-2012 of the Borough, finally adopted on May 24, 2012, as amended by ordinance number 1514-2014 of the Borough, finally adopted on September 15, 2014, providing for various improvements to Veterans Field in and for the Borough of Edgewater and appropriating $19,700,000 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $18,715,000 in bonds or notes of the Borough of Edgewater to finance the same.
This time, is there anyone wishing to be heard on said ordinance? Please come up and state your name and address. Mary?
Mary Hogan, 606 Cliff Avenue. We're now up to, this ordinance is for 19 million. Am I correct?
So, 1970s.
1970.
19,700,000?
Great,
Yes.
the ordinance is for a certain amount, the total now is 19,750.
No, I'm talking about the whole.
Oh, it's 19 million.
Yeah, it's not additional 19.
Right.
The total now is 19 million. And again, this is my concern. I mean, Mr. Henwick says, you know, I don't know why we're going up to 19 million. I have no idea where the numbers are. It'd be nice to know if you know all that information. How much have you paid your engineer? How much have you paid your attorney? How much did it cost to put the Little League field together? Anybody got any of those figures? We're going for another bond ordinance, which is increasing it now, several more $1 million. Personally, to spend $19,700,000, and my bottom line is, we've sort of cleaned it up for the kids. We've cleaned it up to the legal level. That's not enough. As a mother, it's never enough to just do it to the legal level. It should be done to the level that the children need. And I understand people that are saying how wonderful this is, don't have children, and maybe that's where they don't see what the public comes in when you're saying you're spending $19 million and we're still gonna have a contaminated site. That deed restriction on that field will be there forever. And if anything's done on that field, we will always be required to go back to the DEP, to go back to the EPA. Because it's not clean. It's more contaminated when you cleaned it up than it was when we began. And that's why I don't understand the 19 million. I know we're talking about the ordinance. I don't understand why it just keeps going up and up and up. And knowing all the lawsuits and all the law that I've ever dealt with, if you get the 7 million that the bond is from Waterside Construction, you'll be lucky. You're not getting a penny more. And we're gonna pay the difference. And now we're up to 19. And all you've completed is the Little League field. It's just astronomical, and I hope that they've already approved everything, because you know that little park next to the community center? Kids were playing in it on Saturday when they had the town-wide garage sale. I hope to God that it has been approved already and marked as clean, because they were already in there playing there. So until I get some answers as to why you're now up to 19 million, I can't figure out why you would just approve it and say, yeah, we know you may know everything, but you know what, you're not giving any of that to the public. So when we come and say, don't make us look like bad guys. When that happened last week and we were talking about, Mr. Henwood said, oh, we've got meetings and meetings and meetings. Well, you've never told the public you've got meetings and meetings and meetings and what they've been about. And then you criticize us for asking you, why are we going up to 19 million? Because we're not privy to those meetings, and you, quite frankly, don't tell us about them. Thank you.
Mr. Stanton?
Tom Kansas, 609. Reference to what Katie was talking about, the reference that Baby Booth should be included. First of all, it's dedicated for Little League field. Katie, and you should know that the boundary lines is 220 around.
Orders for everybody or just people on the side?
She reminds us all the time the year she spent service.
The bond.
This
This
is
is about the
dedicated
bond.
strictly for 220 around. That's the rules and regulations based on, what is it, in New Jersey, state?
Point of order, Mr. Mayor, it has to be, the comments have to be about the bond.
Yeah, I was just gonna go to that, which is about the time. We have to stay with the bond ordinance about the
Now the
19.
bond issue, specifically. If they would have subdivided this property, the cost of the bond would never reach that absorbent fees. The children would have never lost 4 years of playing in that Little League field. Our recreation center would have been protected after spending $3 million, would never been open. That whole subdivision, it was never done. And I get back to this, they're talking about awareness, public awareness. Where was the town aware that 122 acres was given away to the state? Well, you know, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth.
So I'm just saying, please. Anyone else in the public wish to be heard? Valerie?
Valerie Bardinas, 16 Hudson Terrace. Thank you, Mr. Hamlin, for insisting that it sticks to the rules. I don't understand why you pick and choose what you're going to enforce here. If I stood up here and started talking about that, you would have shut me down.
And I just told him, I just shut everything down, Valerie, I did, so just move on.
You know,
I shut it down.
okay.
I shut it down.
All right, I just want to reiterate what Mary Hogan said regarding the cost, $19 million. That, I believe, doesn't include the amenities to it. So when these bonds become due, those of us who are left here, who own property, who are paying property taxes, we're going to be slammed. And you know, when you're talking about, you know, having to Oprah $72, and that's a lot for 5 cents a page of information solely because it's not being given here, that's a travesty. And you know, I'm going to say this because I notice you answer everybody's questions but my questions here. It doesn't, it's outrageous. But, you know, and was it going to cost money to do this? Absolutely. But that park was recontaminated at 300 times the amount that was there originally. And so we're going to get stuck paying for this. The person who's responsible, in the end, will probably walk free, especially that you dropped the RICO suit and took away your ability, really, the strength of the lawsuit to actually go after the person who did this. 19 million now. When the amenities come, what are we talking about? 25 million? We all want a beautiful park. We all want it clean. We want it clean to the highest level. I get the DEP and the EPA, what they say. But I also understand that you're doing capping there. And I don't understand when you're saying the most beautiful park on the on this side of the river. That may be beautiful, but we want it clean. And I really think you need to have more discussion in public, not just shoot out sound bites. Explain these numbers. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public wish to be heard? Betty?
Betty Lee on 1375 River Road, Edgewater. I'm a little bit, I don't want to use the word disappointed, because you didn't answer the question about cost. See, I'm a numbers person. I like to see what's coming in, what's going out, what you're paying for. And Mary did ask the question about, do you have any information as to how much a breakdown of what's being paid for? You know, and I think that would satisfy a great deal as to how much everything is going to cost. And I think if you could just kind of settle that issue, because it is a great deal of an additional cost to have things prepared, especially with the Veterans Field. And that's all I'm saying. It's just that it's not quite clear. Because if I go into a bank and say I want to borrow $1 million, they're going to say, well, show me your assets, you know. can you do this, can you do that? And those questions weren't answered here tonight. And like I said, I'm a numbers person. Give me the facts, give me the numbers. No partisan, I don't belong to, no parties, no friends, no politics. Just give me good, solid numbers. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? Close the meeting to the public.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to just point out,
Yeah.
I have a suggestion because some of the confusion might lie in how the information is presented through Oprah and through what the information we present periodically here. There's a million numbers out there, there's a million different components to this, and there's just a couple of things to really set the record straight. The .02 is not an optimal number, it's the lowest number the DEP and EPA that would suggest that we could get to. It's the most expensive number, it's the best number, it's the most responsible number, it's the best conscious, whether I have kids or not, I have nephews and nieces, okay? So we went with the most optimal number, the best number possible, that costs more money. To suggest that the $19,750,000 is not including amenities is false, and there should be information on that. To your point, I'm going to suggest when I make a suggestion. That is not just a pull number from the sky. That is the monies to date spent, the projected monies to be spent in the next couple of invoices coming in, and then an estimate from our borough engineer as to what it will take to complete. Will the numbers go higher than that? They may. Will they come lower? Probably not. But that's to complete it. So it's not amenities on top of that. So I don't want to hear on some website that it's going to 25 and whatnot, because that's really not true. So we really have to talk in facts here. And to suggest that, that we don't know what the numbers are, we don't know what the numbers are. So my suggestion would be, Mr. Mayor, in your next month report, your annual or mid-year state of the state report, state of the town report, why don't we come up with a simple spreadsheet that just talks about the numbers to date? They can open that, they can hand it out, you can stick it on the website, because for people to try to Oprah individual things and put it all together, I get it, it's difficult. We thought we did it in different venues or different presentations, but we haven't done a clear enough job of communicating. We probably should. So let's do that.
Council.
But, your problem with that is it's always going to be somebody who comes up at some point in time and says, I want to know the numbers. I'm a numbers person, so I want to know. Well, the numbers are available. They're paid every month on a public voucher at a public meeting, and it tells what it's for. Now, someone has, I don't know who, but somebody has subpoenaed all of the vouchers, the payments of Oprah, and the money's paid on the
Because someone subpoenas, so that's a different.
But the point of the matter is, you can't give a person an accountant to fix it up, to make them understand it. You've given everything publicly that you can. And each time you give more, it costs you more.
Duly noted, attorney, but what I would suggest is that as the mayor committed to a mid-year report, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing a one-page summary of what the highline cost components are.
We've done that, but I guarantee you, it won't be satisfactory, I guarantee.
I'm sure, nothing will be satisfactory. If we can knock off
But I
half
think
the people's
that's,
concerns, then.
I think that's prudent for the next meeting, and that'll answer a lot of questions that the public will
I think I can file
But
an
I
ethics
think what we
complaint
have to
against
do now is
what
have
he
a
just said.
motion to close and adopt the ordinance. I need a vote.
Aaron,
Yeah, well, let's, yes,
Well,
sir.
we'll vote on it, and we'll done it when I'm finished bringing my points up. All right, so, thank you.
Yes, Greg.
I guarantee they will be
If
satisfied.
if I may, Mayor, before we take that roll call, Mr. Attorney, the ordinance 1519-2015 is very simple to follow as far as all the amendments are concerned. And it's an apropos time right now based on some of the comments from the audience. The original bond ordinance, 1474, adopted in 2012, was in the amount of $9.7 million. And that ordinance was proposed at $9.7 million based on an engineer's estimate that this borough typically gets for any major construction work provided by the borough engineer at the time. The bids for said work with Waterside Construction, who ultimately was awarded the project, came in at roughly approximately $7 million. Now, another point I'd like to make is all of these contracts and resolutions are duly posted on our website and available So you will see the ordinance, the funding ordinance, and then also the resolutions that this governing body takes action on hiring a particular vendor through competitive bidding. So that is all available on our website.
No, it's not.
Then on May 24th, then subsequently that ordinance 1474 was amended